Yes, say what you say. I can ground pound all day, especially laid with a pretty face, small waist. I'd rather stand here, share your space with you. Collar tie, Muay Thai, I wanna lie with you. I wouldn't lie to you. I'm the truth. Get my full mount, side mount, wouldn't do. I wanna take you, controlled by the wrist. We can go rounds 3, 4, 5, 6 in the clinch. Yeah, we in the clinch, baby. Best believe me, we in the clinch. You and I, we in the clinch, baby. Say what you say.
Oops, up off that? Yeah. Yes. Up off that. Y'all know what day it is. Huh? Y'all know what day it is. It's hump day. Wait, is it hump day? It is. Hey, baby, boo, we'll do it. We'll do it. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz, Lord. All right, man, look at who we have here. Michael, what's going on with you? King Raul. What's going on? Yeah. Well, all right, man. Look, first, I want to say this. Hit the Tyson bell. Manny Pacquiao. Hit the bell one more time for Manny Pacquiao. My goodness. We're going to talk about Manny Pacquiao for most of this live stream, and what Manny Pacquiao meant. I'm gonna tell you this. God, I was looking at his retirement speech, his announcement. Excuse me. I was looking at his announcement last night, and I caught a lump in my throat. Bro, you want to talk about holding back? It wasn't even that sad at first until I start noticing shit. Like I'm stuff started hitting me. Like I'm looking at him say whatever, and talk about as a boxer, and I'm looking at him as a kid. They show the young pictures of him, and I'm like, man, I was just more so rejoicing. Like I knew it was coming. What a great fighter he was, right? Then I start noticing how his hands were clasped together. I'm looking at him hold it all together. His fingertips get whiter and whiter, and I'm seeing him doing this, and I'm like, yo, Manny, don't do it, Manny. And then you see his nose start fluting. And boxing I was like, no, Manny. Then there go the lump. I'm trying to swallow down the lump. Manny. And then Manny walks away. I'm like, thank you, Manny, but he does one of these numbers right before he leaves. I'm like, no! And then here comes the song. And I'm like, yo! I'm looking at his career. I don't know one word my man is saying, but I'm like, I have no. By the end of that song, I'm singing with them. Looking at the phone. The wifey like, what the hell's going on? I said, Manny Pacquiao retired. She said, no. We both. Oh my God. And that's the black, 2 sugars. But yeah. Manny Pacquiao, the greatest of at least this era. Okay. The greatest of at least this era. And I want to say this too. Everybody, make sure you hit the like button. You haven't hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button for a brother one time.
Hit the like, your fingers over here be like, there's nothing to hit the like, you know what you like.
Huh? Hit the Tyson Bear. You know, another thing, how Manny Pacquiao, I told you, and I'm gonna say this again. Hold on real quick. Goodbye, President Emmanuel Dapadran Pacquiao. Wow. I'm going to say it again. Manny Pacquiao saved this channel, right? I got hit with a copyright, and it was one of my better videos, and I got so many views on it. And I was getting a lot of money on it. Views equal money. And it was long, so there was a lot of advertising on it. And they hit me with a copyright strike from Manny Pacquiao's, not a copyright strike, but just a copyright. They didn't strike me, but from Manny Pacquiao's company or something like that. And Manny Pacquiao requested that it's the claim that they remove the copyright claim. I got the email from YouTube saying that Manny Pacquiao requested to remove the claim. Because of how that video kind of went viral, I was able to leave my job. I knew what kind of money I would start coming in. Manny Pacquiao affected this community, affected my entire life. With how I analyzed Manny Pacquiao's career, his ups, his downs, criticize him, give him praise. I was able to touch the Philippines, an entire fan base that I didn't know I was going to be able to affect. I get emails from you guys all the time saying how you guys are big fans, right? You guys send me emails of your children saying ShowBizz the adult, and it's all because of Manny bridging that gap, right? Making the distance between the States and the Philippines closer, because we could talk every morning on the internet, right? In this community. So thank you, Manny Pacquiao. Preach. I didn't know that. Yeah, Tempo. Yeah, Manny Pacquiao himself. That means that his team got the notification. Okay, there was a copyright, and we claimed it. You are good. And Manny Pacquiao said, "What? No." So Manny knows this community, and Manny's like, "No, man, let ShowBizz get busy." It's beautiful. That's about the third person with a different name for Pacquiao. He'll be missed for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Heroes come and go, but legends are forever, 100%. But let's go through a few things with Manny Pacquiao personally, and I like to know what you all think. I remember the first time I saw Manny Pacquiao. I remember it like yesterday. I remember everything leading up to it. I never forget the first time I saw Manny Pacquiao on TV. I'll never forget the fight. Pac-Man was like the modern day Ali. Yeah, well, especially for the Philippines. Yeah. Oh, and everybody, make sure you join the Shut Up Club. Go to my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Everybody follow me on Twitter. We have a lot of fun on Twitter. We get to the bag on Twitter. All the giveaways and promotions and stuff like that is now on Twitter. So make sure you go there. What's your favorite Manny Pacquiao fight? We're about to get there, King Raul. The first time I saw Manny Pacquiao, I'll never forget, was the Lewaba fight. I don't think it was late. I think it was the first time we all were kind of introduced to him in the States. I think I remember it clear because Lewaba was the dude at featherweight. Plus, I remember the first time I saw Lewaba. I saw him kind of late. I saw him on the undercard of Lennox Lewis versus Rockman, because that fight was in Africa, in South Africa, and Lewaba was on the undercard. And I saw Lewaba and I said, this guy is amazing, right? So fast forward, Oscar De La Hoya has a fight on HBO. Lewaba is on the undercard. So it's an Oscar De La Hoya HBO fight. Who wasn't watching that? Everybody who was alive and a boxing fan should remember the first time they saw Manny Pacquiao, okay? Because you can't miss it. It was the everybody was watching Oscar De La Hoya. Hold on real quick. Manny, we love you. The community. 100%. Rip Lewaba. Yeah, we love you, boy. for sure. It was Oscar De La Hoya fight. It was definitely the fight. Everybody was watching. And Lawaba is fighting, and I didn't know who he is fighting. I'm eating popcorn like I don't know who this guy is. And come to find out, it's Manny Pacquiao. No one knew how to say his name even. I remember George Foreman, me, everybody in the house. Who? Manny what? He had frosted tips. I was cracking up because he reminded me of bye, 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 like a boy band, okay? So I'm looking at Manny Pacquiao, and he comes in 2 weeks' notice. I'm like, Waba is just going to whoop his ass. I'm sure of it. It was a 2 weeks' notice. They kept saying it. Manny Pacquiao. No one knew his name. And then the first round, he's whooping Lawaba's ass. And I'm like, Lawaba, what the hell's going on? And this is prime Lawaba. What was he, 28? How old was he? 27? He was prime. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then the second round, you start hearing the punches from Manny Pacquiao. They're hard, and they're fast, and they're accurate. I remember Manny Pacquiao kept hitting him with this uppercut. Lawaba ducking into it. I'm like, yo, what? Then you start seeing his footwork, and you start thinking, this guy's amazing, right? And then you find out Freddie Roach is training him, which I wasn't even that familiar with Freddie Roach as a trainer. I knew him as a fighter, getting his ass whipped. I remember him getting his ass whipped as a fighter. And I'm like, oh, Freddie Roach is training him? Where did he find him at? I'm thinking, where did he find him at? How do you find him? And he goes and he beats the hell out of Lawaba and he TKOs him. I remember Lawaba pretty much quits. Like he lays down like it's just not, I'm knocked out. This is just too painful. And I'm like, well, ain't this something? He beats Lawaba, and that's on my mind. Even for the Oscar De La Hoya fight, I'm thinking about this Manny Pacquiao kid. Moving on, I still didn't give Manny Pacquiao much love or credit. I remember, I remember him beating Barrera, and I'm like, dude, no. Even before, he had a draw with Marquez. Look, let me tell you something. He had a draw with, was it a draw with Marquez first? I'm getting things mixed up. But I do remember he was going to fight Eric Morales, and I said, now he's going to get his ass whipped. Got a lump in my throat, Biz. I know. I remember he was about to fight Eric Morales, and I said, now, Manny Pacquiao, you were good. You had a spark. I did not believe in him. And Eric Morales won. And I remember telling my brother, ShowBizz brother, yeah, I knew Eric. Eric Morales too tall, hits too hard, too good. But I still keep in mind how hard that fight was. I kept that in mind. And that's when I first started kind of getting love for Manny. I'm like, he's better than I thought. Then the second fight, we all know what happened. Beats the hell out of Morales. Beats him for sure. The third fight. Whoops. TKOs Barrera. Huh? He like stops Barrera. He beats Barrera again. Beats Marquez. Like I'm sitting here like, what? I was a fan, but at that point, I'm a fan. At that point, I'm a fan. And before I stop, I remember this guy saying something extremely bizarre, okay? Manny Pacquiao. He knocks out Eric Morales in the third fight. Early. And he says that he wants Floyd Mayweather. And I'm like, now you, bro. He was a featherweight. He was like, I'm going to move up. I want to move up and fight Floyd. And I'm like, nope. I'm like, are you crazy? Floyd isn't just the best fighter pound for pound. Floyd Mayweather is way too big for you. And 10 years later, see, that's the thing. I think it was like 2005, 2006 when he beat Eric Morales. And it took 10 years after that. That's when people start really loving Manny because he said it a decade before. I'm coming for Floyd. And it took years later. But Manny Pacquiao, what a sensational. I mean, and I'm so happy. Here's another thing. I'm so happy that I appreciated Manny while he was here. See, there's nothing like, and I tell you guys a lot, try to appreciate these guys while they're here. I remember a Kobe Bryant hater. After Kobe died, he was like, man, he was a bad boy. And I'm like, you know what? But I remember how you felt about him. You didn't even like seeing his face. He discussed you. It's good to try to appreciate the people while they're here. And I'm so happy that I appreciated Manny while he was fighting. That's a beautiful feeling. I appreciated Manny while he was fighting. Hit the Tyson bell. So let me ask you guys, what's your, I know Manny's best victory, in my opinion, was Oscar De La Hoya. And this is what I mean by that. When he beat Oscar, dude, I remember when he was about to fight Oscar, I didn't give a damn that Oscar was going to shred weight or do whatever. He ain't beating Oscar De La Hoya. I don't give a damn how old he is. Don't forget, Manny was so tiny and moved up to fight Oscar. It was a catch weight, but Manny ain't beating no damn Oscar De La Hoya. I don't give a damn if Oscar De La Hoya 55 years old. Manny's too small. Manny made him quit on a stool. That was his biggest. Like, I remember after that, it was like, that was his big, though you have all the things, the weight drain, the age, and all those things. Still, Manny was so tiny. That was like his biggest win. But what's your favorite win? What's your favorite win? My favorite fight of Manny was the second Morales fight. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Thank you, ShowBizz. Much love to you. My man named himself Pac-Man. He was like, look, my name is Pac-Man, bro. Thank you, ShowBizz. And that's what makes him so great. He had vision and achieved it. Bingo. Cotto. That's me. You know what, though? You know what? Somebody said something, and I'm going to highlight it in a minute. A few of you guys said this. Cotto was the one for me, okay? Because how he beat, I remember saying, what if he knocks out Cotto? And everybody laughed, including me. I was joking. Before the fight, I'm like, what if he knocks out Cotto? Right? Once we see him dribbling Cotto off the canvas, it was like, bruh, that was crazy. Now, Cotto weight drain, and he didn't fight at welterweight after that. But I remember the moment, in the moment, in hindsight, you look back. But the moment, though, I was like, no. This right here was one of his biggest wins for me. Because that's when, look, you're talking to a guy who most of Manny Pacquiao's career was so great that though I was a huge fan of his, most of his fights, I actually was saying he was going up against so many things that I'm like, even Thurman. Remember at the beginning, I argued with my son, he can't win. He's not going to win this one. He was Rocky. You were always saying you can't win. Every time when Manny Pacquiao fought, he ain't winning this one. He is the only fighter, I think the only great fighter that I experienced where I was constantly like, he's not going to beat Eric Morales. Eric Morales, he's too tall, too good. One of the greatest Mexican fighters I've ever seen. He's not gonna beat him. Barrera, too technical. Oscar De La Hoya is too big. Floyd Mayweather, no way. Okay. Thurman, he's too old. He's too old, too small, too old. Right? I mean, he was full of that. Cotto, yeah, right. I think Hatton was the one I was like, he about to whoop Hatton's ass. But there were a lot of times. Timothy Bradley, I was like, he's about to whoop Tim. But Tim came on. Some good fights. I was actually wondering about Clotty and on the low, Sugar Shane. I didn't know Sugar Shane had nothing left. Sugar Shane dropped right off. But before that, Sugar Shane was looking good. He looked good against Floyd, right? Well, I think Floyd was before, and Cotto. So even Sugar Shane, I was like, man, this may be a fight. And Manny just whooped. I mean, wow. So yeah, Thurman is one of those. Now, this fight here, Margarito, around then, that's when I was thinking, around that time, I was thinking Manny Pacquiao was unstoppable. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget when, before the weigh-in, how tall and big Margarito was over Pacquiao. Okay. I remember rooting for Pacquiao heavy because we know Margarito was a cheat. But on top of that, he was making fun of Freddie Roach's Parkinson's. Remember that shit? He was making fun of Freddie Roach's Parkinson's. I was like, Manny, if you don't cave this man face in. And then there was the weigh-in, and I was looking at how big Margarito was and how mean he was. You know, he was like you know, like Tony Montana. Like Tony Montana. You know, but I remember Manny Pacquiao, the face-to-face, when they stared each other down before the first bell. And Manny Pacquiao was like this. And he had that long beard, remember? And he looked evil. Remember, Manny was like, he looked stoic and evil. And that's when I was like, this guy's unstoppable. It was that moment when I was looking at Manny like, this guy's unstoppable, man. And he went on to 8 division world. Like, that Manny was the peak Manny for me. For my feeling, he probably wasn't the best ever he's ever been around them, but I think so. I know for me, when I saw him, that was the first time I was convinced this kid is unstoppable. Like, he just looked like Bruce Lee. He looked like Bruce Lee. Let me see. My favorite was against Margarito. Yeah, he landed 474 punches in that. I mean, God, he was doing amazing things there too. I started looking at Manny Pacquiao closely. Oh, he's not just fast. He's not just a fast, awkward southpaw. He's smart. I started noticing his feints. I started noticing what he did to set you up. And that's when I was like, this guy is brilliant. He's not just, it's like when you start watching Roy and realizing, oh, he's not just fast. Roy hits you to the body, hits you to the head. He was faint. He was looking away and baiting you in because you're a shell shock and you're like, Roy's brilliant. That's what was going on with Manny. You start looking at Manny like, oh, he's brilliant, right? Hit the Tyson bell. Fantastic fighter. Body shot Margarito. Yeah, I mean, breaking his orbital bone, cheekbone. I think he broke his whole face, didn't he? Manny Pacquiao really got busy. This man said Crawford and Porter confirmed. I remember everyone was like, Manny Pacquiao is going to beat the S out of Margarito for beating Cotto with hand wraps. I just remember the Margarito Manny Pacquiao Cotto thing was a thing for me. It was a thing. I missed a super chat. The Diaz fight, yeah. Let me see. Good morning, ShowBizz and the community. Congratulations, Manny Pacquiao. Happy retirement, boxing legend, Hall of Fame. Let the light in, roses. There you go. The Cotto Manny Pacquiao Margarito thing was a thing for me. I always liked his Bruce Lee type style. Yeah, absolutely, James West. It was a thing for me because I remember how Cotto face looked when I'm only giggling because I'm sorry. How Cotto face looked after the break hands Margarito fight. All right. Letting you know how your face should look if you're getting hit with loaded gloves. Wink. Right. So how Cotto face looked. You didn't know who that was. But after Manny Pacquiao fought him, his face reverted back to that look. Like, it was like Manny Pacquiao broke his face up too. Like his face was already fractured or something. And that's just the connection. And with Margarito, I remember how Cotto got his revenge on Margarito and how Margarito making fun of Freddie Roach and stuff like that. How Manny Pacquiao broke his orbital bone and stuff. It was like, you want to talk about you reap what you sow. Let me see. Thank you so much. Hit the Tyson bell. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Go to that. Shut up, club. I want to say something to you too, BK, for all your support. That Manny Pacquiao, everybody in the war room, BK over a year ago won a giveaway from this channel. He won a Manny Pacquiao pop, which is a very rare thing. I'm not sure how many pops of Manny Pacquiao has been made. All right. But if they start making pops, he got the first rare version of it. He won that. I'm not sure how many were made, but now you own that. And now Manny Pacquiao's retired. Give BK his love. You got something great, man. Cotto was so confused. Yeah. He was super confused. That's right, BK. Yep. Everybody press the like button. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the like button.
Hit the like. Your fingers over here be like. There's nothing to hit the like. You know what you like.
Ooh. Let me see. There's only one Tyson Fury. So it's funny. Is it a tragedy to boxing that we never got Spence versus Pacquiao? No. How different would Spence's legacy be if he were to have Manny in his resume? That's up to Errol Spence. All right. He will always regret that. But for us, no. Look, let me tell you something about Manny. I mean, because what you're asking is Manny Pacquiao was a shell of himself against Ugas. I'd rather he been a shell of himself for Spence so he can have that on his resume. I'd rather the truth than to decorate somebody's resume. It wasn't Manny. All right. It was a decent Manny because he was a warrior that fight. If you watch that fight, he was a warrior that fight, but he was a shell of himself. Right. So regardless of if it's Ugas or Errol Spence. Okay. For me, right, you might as well don't put it on Errol Spence's resume. They retired Manny. It's nothing. Okay. It may be better that it is Ugas because Errol Spence go through so much. People be talking about him cherry picking and stuff and fighting an old fighter and stuff after that. But it made sense. It made sense in this way. Sugar Ray Robinson, his last fight was against Joey Archer. Who? Joey Archer was actually a pretty good fighter. But Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest fighter of all time, he lost to Joey Archer and bowed out and was like, all right, then, y'all. Bro. Okay? Archer beat Sugar Ray Robinson, but after that, he lost against Emil Griffith twice, I think. After Joey Archer beat Sugar Ray Robinson, he went on a 3-fight losing streak. Right? Muhammad Ali. He lost to Trevor Berbick. Trevor Berbick, pretty good fighter, but it just don't seem right. That Muhammad Ali last fight was Trevor Berbick, but it was. That was his retirement fight. And you like to think of the Larry Holmes fight, though you hate to think of the Larry Holmes fight. People go as far as maybe the Spinks fight as, okay, that's his goodbye, farewell fight, but it was Trevor Berbick. George Foreman losing to Shannon Briggs. Shannon Briggs is a good fighter, but damn, that's one hell of a damn. Sugar Ray Leonard losing to Hector Camacho. It's like, yeah, Camacho, beautiful fighter, but my own damn, bro. Right? So Manny Pacquiao ending his career against Yordanis Ugas is kind of like, yeah, Ugas a good fighter. He's a good fighter, but you kind of wished it was like after he won against Thurman or like I mean, like you're saying, you brought up Spence. People wanted it to feel better if it was Spence or Crawford. It'll feel better. But that's how a lot of great ones go. A lot of great ones go like that, where it's just like, yo, he just went a fight too many, bro. He just went a fight. Mike Tyson versus McBride. It's kind of like, damn. I wish it wasn't McBride. I wish it was Lennox Lewis. Bob Arum. And that's the Black Two Sugars. Another thing about Manny Pacquiao is this. I know everybody want to do the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao trolling, but I don't have the energy right now, but maybe a little later. All right. But my thing about Manny is this, that I always said about Manny. You can always count on this with Manny. You can always rob Manny Pacquiao, huh? You can always rob his ass, can't you? That's the thing about Manny, boy. No matter how much he gave to the sport, you can always count on judges robbing his ass. You never really know. Timothy Bradley, Jeff Holt. You never really know. You can rob Manny. That's the thing about Manny that mess with me, boy. Man, for somebody so good, you can definitely rob his ass, boy. Amazing how he came as a replacement fighter and in his career by a replacement fighter. Yeah. Circle of life. Manny Pacquiao was a roller coaster ride. Yeah. Came in as a replacement fighter. I'm not sure who Lewaba had. I don't even think he really had a guy. I think nobody was agreeing to fight him. Lewaba, people were afraid of him. Okay, believe it or not. And then he left. Yeah, that makes sense. Holyfield wasn't the Holyfield we know versus Belfort, brother. Come on, man. Does that deserve to be said? A 60-year-old Holyfield wasn't the Holyfield we know. Let me see. Manny was the most robbable fighter ever. Boy, you can rob Manny quick as hell, could you? Remember? Yeah, you'll rob him. Oh my God, you'll rob him. But I want to say this, and I'm going to let you guys say whatever you have to say, and we can discuss in the war room because I'm 30 minutes in. And I'm talking. Manny Pacquiao was able to retire because you know how I always say Manny Pacquiao, he's insane, like all the insane guys. Well, fighting to 42, 43 damn years old that's insane. But he loves boxing. He loves boxing. He loves it. This guy loves to fight. He's able to retire because he has a new fight. President of the Philippines. That's why he's able. He's capable. He's able to financially. He's secure. He's you know how much the campaigns are and stuff like that. Financially, he's secure. And he has the fighting spirit is being fed. Going to be president, trying to be president. So he's able to retire because of that. I got a DM and someone asked me, do you think Manny Pacquiao will come back? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, his spirit to fight is being fed through politics, fighting for his countrymen, right? He has opponents. All those elements that's in a welterweight championship bout are in politics. And he can satisfy that in the spirit. So I think that's why he was able to do it, to retire. What say you? Say hello to my little friend. Yeah. Big facts. Manny Pacquiao for president will hopefully mean an anonymous Mindanao and peace. Oh man, I hope he wins. Much love to you. That was a reference to Pac versus Spence if Pac lost. Oh, I get what you're saying. Age defeated Manny. Yeah. Nobody of this era would have beaten Manny. Nobody would have beaten Manny. If he was in his prime, just none of these guys. Okay. But not in my opinion. And it's a good batch of welterweights to lose to. It's kind of like it sounds funny to say, but it's true. It's kind of like Mike McCullum when he lost to Roy Jones. Mike McCullum, who was trying to fight the body snatcher? Nobody. Hagler, I don't give a damn. I love Hagler. I love you, boy. I love Hagler, but I'm not here to lie. Hagler avoided him. Hearns, these guys avoided him. Julian the Hawk Jackson showed you why they avoided him. Mike McCullum beat the hell out of him. Okay. But he hung in there like Manny Pacquiao. He hung in there with a crop of fighters that were just too good. Okay. You had the Michael Nunns, you had the James Toney, you had Tonys of the world, you had the Roy Jones Juniors of the world, you had the Nigel Benns, you had the G-Man Gerald McCullens, you had the Eubanks, you had the Watsons, you had all these guys, the Collins, you had all of this new batch of middleweights that was like, brother, Mike McCullum is aging and there's no way. Bernard Hopkins, it's like there's no way. That's Manny was aging when there's more Porter, Danny Swift Garcia, Keith One Time Thurman, Errol the Chew Spence, Terrence Bud Crawford. It's like, bruh, Yordanis Ugas. It's like one of them going to get his ass. He's just, it's like Mike McCullum. And then here come Roy Jones whooping Mike McCullum and sending him out the door. Right? That's what happened with Manny. Unlike Larry Holmes, right, who came after Foreman, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, though he beat Ernie Shavers towards Ken Norton, he beat those guys when he was aging. He beat Ali when he was aging. So when he started running things, the heavyweight division was kind of weak. Unlike that, for Manny Pacquiao, it was pow, pow, a strong welterweight division, pow, pow, and he was just aging, and there was just no way. The fact that he was a champion in 4 different decades, that's not happening ever again. That's never happening again, bro. When people say never, I'm saying never. That's not happening again. 62-8-2, top 3 greatest pound for pound of all time. Yeah, I'm not going to argue you guys on that. I got him in my top 10, Manny Pacquiao. Edging out probably Sam Langford, man, and that's terrible. That's hard for me to see. Once you start cracking the top 10, I don't like it, right? But Sam Langford did incredible. I mean, well, it's tough, man. It's tough, but I got Manny Pacquiao in the top 10. All right, of all time. I have to find out where I put him. I have to really look at it. I don't have him in my top 6, but I do have him in my top 10. I do. Let me see. As a 29-year-old boxing fan, he's the greatest fighter I've grown up watching. Good point. To me, he's the GOAT. I feel you. I feel honored to have watched all his fights live. Yeah, hit the Tyson bell. I love that statement. That's why people get confused when I say Evander Holyfield, my favorite heavyweight of all time. And people are like, not Muhammad Ali? You're stupid. You're a casual. And it's like, bro, I'm talking about, I know I'm old, okay? But I wasn't around when Ali was around. All right? I watched Holyfield, Tyson. I watched those boys. So that's what he's saying. Look, I'm 29, and I was a kid looking at Manny Pacquiao like, this guy is amazing. He's the greatest. All right? So, I mean, you can't hate on that guy, okay? ShowBizz, much love to you. Who's your top 6? I've done it. Carlos, you got to go to my, I did a video, my pound for pound greats ever, featherweight, welterweight, middleweight. Carlos, I did that. And it's such a brain scrambler. I put my all into that video. Only got 2,000 some views. And it's like, yo, y'all just gonna have to go to that, because I'm not doing that. I'm not sure if I'm doing that ever again. I did women. It's just ridiculous. Each era has their best. And it's always fun to mix the eras, right? It's always fun to say, what would have Manny Pacquiao done against Sanchez, Salvador Sanchez, and Julio Cesar Chavez, and Tommy Hearns, and Henry Armstrong, and Sugar Ray Robinson. And it's fun to do that and have that discussion, those arguments, those barbershop arguments. Everybody, when I go to the barbershop, everybody just like, yo, ShowBizz, who will win? So it's always fun to have those discussions. So you'll never come up with a resolution. That's not even what it's about. It's just about enjoying and celebrating these legends. Pac switching up his game after the Marquez KO is worthy of recognition. More conservative, still explosive at moments, still representative. Well, yeah, a knockout to do that to you. The way he was KO'd will do that to you. Okay. He stopped being too overly aggressive, but it came back. He came back to pounding his fist and being the Manny Pacquiao we love. But yeah. That knockout was due to the fact that he was overzealous and Marquez fought him a million times. Look, it's like this. And I'm gonna bring this up. It's like Wilder versus Tyson Fury. I mean, you see a guy so many times. Okay. This is Wilder's 3rd time. Okay, it was a shock the first time. The second time I didn't expect that. okay, I know what to do this third time. I got to take this guy extremely seriously and do stuff I've never done before. If Wilder were to win, that is about right. You keep getting practice with this guy. Wilder is not shit. Okay? So, yeah, so when you think of Marquez and Manny Pacquiao, it was like, yeah, especially that third fight. I think Marquez probably won that third fight. I was happy. I was rooting for Manny Pacquiao, but I think Marquez probably won that mug, man. I'll never forget. I watched it at a bar, and I was looking at my woman. I was looking at Ms. Beers, and I said, "Hey, man, Marquez won." And then they said it was Manny Pacquiao. I was like, man, because, he broke Marquez's nose. Yeah. My favorite was against Cotto. Yeah, that's my personal favorite. That's my personal favorite. Like I said, and you can't help but to bring up the Floyd thing. And we're about to now. Now that we're 40 minutes in. Like I said, when Manny Pacquiao called out Floyd Mayweather after he knocked out Morales, that third fight at featherweight, I was like, no way in hell. And it took 10 years to get Floyd in the ring, right? Now, the reason why Manny and Floyd, two all-time great, same era, 100%. That's the best comment. It took 10 years, but the thing is, though, they both, to me, I was too aware, and I was too into what was going on. They both were playing damn games. It wasn't just Floyd's fault, right? Manny Pacquiao was like, hey, last time I got blood drawn from me, I was weak. He truly was in his head. I'm not doing the Olympic style testing and stuff like that. And it was like, hey, just take the test and we can fight. And it was just this thing, man. It was just this thing that just went on forever. Manny Pacquiao became fighter of the decade, fighter of the year like twice. Many people start putting Manny Pacquiao over Floyd because of what they did to common opponents. What Floyd did with Shane, what Manny Pacquiao did with Shane, what Manny Pacquiao did with Hatton, Floyd did with Hatton. I still think Floyd's the Hatton knockouts by both of them were beautiful. Floyd stepping back and knocking his head off the bucket at the corner was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And the way Manny Pacquiao knocked out Hatton, bam, and his arms were like, I was like, bruh, some of the best footwork and power. What up, Biz? Bet. That was real. That was a real comment. Manny Pacquiao, the best ever. I don't believe so. I don't believe. See, that's when you'll get stuff from me, okay? Because I don't think Floyd Mayweather the best ever either. I ducked ShowBizz and he still got me. Biz, what you eating this morning for breakfast? I don't know. I haven't eaten yet. Biz, oh Jesus. Floyd, a PED fighter. No. But to go to the PED things, Manny Pacquiao never failed a drug test. And he is the most, 12 major titles? I think it's 12. It's 12, right? 12 major titles. He is the most tested fighter of all time. And he never failed for a drug test. So you can try to speculate and have conspiracies, but it's just there's not even an ounce of proof at all other than him being a dynamic fighter. And if you want to roll a question around in your head, roll this around in your head. What if Manny Pacquiao was completely clean his entire career? You'll look, if you are a naysayer, you'll look at Manny Pacquiao a bit different. If you look at him and say, and this is to Teddy Atlas. This is to you, Teddy. Okay. What if he's clean? He was clean his entire career. I know Teddy Atlas is a naysayer. What if? Then you must look at that guy and say, he's beyond fantastic. What say you? Finally made it on break, my man. Peace to the community. Just saw the news this morning. Manny Pacquiao, the last of the Mohicans. Salute to the elder warrior. My man, hit the Tyson bell. That's the real. They let Manny juice to build the next great hope. But here's the thing, Wesley Gill. You have nothing. That's the real. They. Who is they? The powerful people that manipulate the world. Hey, everybody. Here we go. That comment was dumb. That tends to happen when, like Caleb Plant said, you live believable lives and somebody do unbelievable things. You just can't help but to say that dude's doing great things. It makes you feel cheated. So you're like, they, who they? The boogeyman that made my life shit and his life so great. They let him cheat and do whatever. It's like, bro, no, I can't. I don't know. I can't put a face on the boogeyman. I can't put a face on this magic. And I know that he never came close to failing any drug, anything. So at this point, I can't put nothing on him except for he did great things. And if it bothers you that he did great things, then that's something that you just have to go get checked out with yourself. Because Manny never failed anything. He never took a shortcut. He always took on the best. Took on lineal champions, 5 lineal champions or whatever, went up weight classes. Everything that we like about boxing, that we want a boxer to do, Manny did that. And once a fighter does that, you say he cheated. All right. But this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. People like Wesley Gill. What I want you to do, if you can imagine, if you have the ability to imagine, people like Wesley Gill, whatever you love, whatever race you are, or whatever country you're from, imagine if Manny Pacquiao was of your race or of your country. Imagine Manny Pacquiao was a black man with a fade and a gold tee from Detroit and never failed anything. Never failed anything and did those great things. 8 different weight divisions, 12 titles, just did those great things. And everybody else was saying he cheated. You'll be like, hey, they always against the brother. Hit the Tyson bell. Imagine if he was a white, blonde hair, blue eye guy from, I don't know, man, Arizona, California, Oklahoma. I don't know. Okay. And he wore the American trunks and he did those things that Manny Pacquiao accomplished. And then everybody else is like, there's the only way he can accomplish that is if he's on roids, and he never failed anything. You'll be like, what the hell? Imagine if he was a Mexican guy, all right, from Texas, California, Mexico, all right, and he did those things. And people say the only way he can accomplish those things is if he was on steroids and he never failed anything or not even close. You'll take that personally. You'll have his back and his support. Understand what you are and what you're saying. That's what this community is going to get over. Everybody's insecurities and drop it. And be like, hey, man, that dude did some great stuff, bro. Floyd Mayweather, that's my favorite fighter. But that doesn't mean that Manny Pacquiao did anything wrong. He did great things. And Floyd is just my favorite. But that doesn't mean he's the greatest ever. Just keep watching Floyd. Watch his replays. Watch him on Instagram. Enjoy him. But you don't have to hate on anybody else. Just if we can get there, just relax. If we can all relax and just get there. Canelo Alvarez is my favorite fighter. But that don't mean Floyd is garbage. Floyd beat him from pillar to post, man. All right? Canelo Alvarez, kind of young, whatever. It was a learning lesson. He got better after that. But no need to get mad at Floyd. Why get mad at Floyd? He did what he had to damn do. Imagine if Floyd was a Mexican fighter and fought like that and accomplished all those things. Imagine if he was white and fought like that and accomplished those things. We have to get over that, man. Imagine if he was Filipino, Floyd Mayweather. You'll say he's the greatest ever. Hit the Tyson bell. He never lost. We have to get over that. We do. What say you? What say you? You speak a lot of facts. Thank you so much. Can we all just get along? You ain't lying. Tell them, Biz. 100%. Play it again. Actually, if y'all like what I said right there, hit the like for me.
Hit the like. Your fingers over there be like, there's nothing to hit the like. You know what you like.
Huh? Hit the Tyson bell. Who is your best ever GOAT, Biz? Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson is the best fighter in the world. Best fighter ever. If Manny Pacquiao would have beaten Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford, I would have ranked Manny Pacquiao number 1. But I would have also said, like I said, he would best fighter. He's not better than Sugar Ray Robinson, but he would have accomplished more things than Sugar Ray. Like his career would have been better to me. To me, his career would have been better if he would have beaten Errol Spence. He was like that away from doing the unimaginable. So when he lost to Ugas, that's why it just didn't make sense to beat Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford at this point in his career, right? He had no real, he couldn't move, bruh. But the best fighter ever to do it, Sugar Ray Robinson had everything at its best. He had the best footwork. He had the best speed. He had the best power in both hands. He had the best chin. He had the best reflexes. He fought everybody multiple times. He was untouchable. He put himself under a huge amount. There was no tweener weight classes. He had to put himself under a huge. He was never really a middleweight like that. He had to put himself under a huge amount of stress. When he lost to Jake LaMotta, he was outweighed by like 20 pounds the night of the fight. He didn't even weigh in at the limit. Sugar Ray Robinson was brother. Facts only. Thank you, Biz. Much love to you. Zab Judah knocked down Floyd. Yeah, he knocked down Floyd worse than Errol Spence knocked down Sean Porter. Sean Porter fist barely touched. Floyd Mayweather fist touched, and they didn't call it. If God made a perfect fighter, it would be Ray. Yeah. God decided. Nas, let's go a little bit further. God decided to make a perfect fighter. Sugar Ray Robinson. Where you rank Manny if he gets a draw? I mean, that's just, I don't know. If he gets a draw, still, he'll probably be the one. Because it just, I mean, that's just incredible. All right. There's no, that way. My oldest brother was the first one to tell me that. That's why I'm repeating what his analysis is, which I get a lot of mine. If you think I'm smart, my mother is the god of boxing, at least in my family. Okay. My mom, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story real quick. We were watching Blood Brothers, the documentary on Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. And they showed when Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston. And my mom said, and I never heard her say this, as casual as a fart in the wind. Mom said, as cool as a cucumber. My mom said, I remember that night. And I looked at her like, I said, you remember what night, Ma? I remember when Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston. I said, Ma, okay, what do you mean? She said, I heard it on the radio. I said, Ma, you were, okay, hold on. I said, Ma, wait a minute. You were listening to the fight? She said, yeah, I was at my friend's house. I said, Ma, you never told me. I know you knew. She said, yeah, everybody watched that fight. I said, I don't know. I said, I know that you know Muhammad Ali and he beat Sonny Liston, of course, and you're around. How did that go? And my mom told me, well, see, this is the difference between looking back at stuff and hearing someone say what they witnessed. Mom said, yeah, My mom said Muhammad Ali was a loudmouth, little skinny kid. Nobody thought he was going to beat that man in Sonny Liston. She said we were kind of rooting for him because he was young and he was like the new era. She said, but nobody thought he was going to beat Sonny Liston, that man. She said, and you know, it was the weight classes was way off. But my mom was like, imagine if she was like, what's that young boy name? And it ended up being Ryan Garcia. She said if Ryan Garcia fought Canelo and was talking like he was going to whoop Canelo, you'd be like, yeah, that's funny and great, but there's no damn way. She said it was like that. It was like, there's no way. No way. And I'm just like, wow. She said, so when he won, everybody lost it. She said he was immediately our favorite fight. My mom was a young girl. So it's like he was immediately our era's favorite. That was, Muhammad Ali was it. Everything was Ali at that point. He was young, gorgeous. She said, you know, dressed well, talk. He was witty. He was the new. She said, anyway, my bad, y'all. Sugar Ray Robinson is my favorite fighter, then Ali. You have some beautiful favorite fighters, bro. You have some beautiful favorite fighters. Let me see. Sugar Ray Robinson could KO you going backwards. Yeah, he'll step, bam. Yeah, he's the only one that was violent and the aggressor going backwards. You know, that's to add to what you're saying. You're right. He was like the aggressor going back. He danced, bam, and boy, Victor asked if oh yes, I wonder why would you shoot him on? People throw him from war room. Now is not the time for fear. That comes later. Let me see. Loved how Manny always was respectful, fought hard, not perfect, but a true warrior. Yeah, he wasn't perfect. That's what you liked about him. That's what you liked about him. But he was bizarre. Beautiful story, Biz. Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. And you know, it's funny because while I was going through the comments, I heard somebody say, Uncle Tom doesn't know where my history lie, right? And my mom being part of the movement, civil rights movement, and everything that I've been raised in understanding and how to be a proud black man. You know, you see that, but you have no idea. Being proud is being able to give Manny Pacquiao his love because you are strong in yourself. You vibrate too high to be threatened by giving Manny Pacquiao his love. Uncle Tom, that's a weakness. And I'm going to get over that too. Like, we got to, my black people, just be less fragile. Stand strong like kings and queens, right? Manny Pacquiao, great fighter, man. Because you have that pride. That's how I was raised. But I was going to say, a lot of my analysis comes from my family, my brothers, and my oldest brother was the one to say, hey, yo, man, if Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, he just said it. I think he was eating like some potato salad. Like, I think I had like a half cookout or something like that. And he was just like at my house with a paper plate. You were like, let me tell you, if Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, he's the best fighter of all time. And I laughed, and then he was looking at me like, and I'm just like, and I thought like that's unheard of. I'm like, you're right. That is unheard of. That's unheard of. Are we partying for 100,000? It's on its way. That's right. You got that right. Everybody hit the like button. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some stuff, man. School and Biz 100%. Love you, Biz. Much love to you. Damn, show Biz a go. Thank you so much. You know, actually, everybody hit the like for me one time.
Hit the like, your fingers over here be like, there's nothing to hit the like, you know what you like.
Liston took a dive against Ali. That was a very odd thing to say at this moment. Okay, at first, that's my first response. That is a very odd thing to say because you chose that and didn't choose the first fight when he tried to rub solution in Ali's eyes to blind him and really could permanently damage him. He was so threatened by Ali that they put solution, try to blind him. You didn't mention that. So you mentioned the dive. He took a dive against Ali. Well, we don't know that to be fact. But we do know this. They definitely didn't. The Italians who ran boxing, the mob who ran boxing at the time, didn't want Ali to win. That's why they tried to allow him to cheat. They meaning the Italians, the Italian mobs, a mob running boxing. And Ali still won. He quit. He spit out his mouthpiece. I can't beat him. The second time, he got dropped by the anchor punch. If you look at it in slow motion, he got dropped. It was a flash knockdown, like bam. He didn't see it. It dropped him. The problem is he just quit. He was a quitter. He was a quitter with Ali. Ali was too much for him. They said the one thing Sonny Liston feared, he didn't fear nothing, but the one thing he feared was a crazy person. And he thought Ali was crazy. And he was super skillful. So that's why Ali said, get up, nobody's going to believe you. He got knocked down, but he laid around and rolled around because he quit. He quit. At least that's my analysis. I looked at it very often. Let me see. Big fan, keep up the good work. Hit the Tyson Bale. Thank you so much. Everybody, make sure you go to my Shut Up Club. Follow me on Twitter. Where's my Twitter followers at? Everybody follow me on Twitter. Hit the like button. Let's get 1,000 people in here. Oh wait, we already passed the hour, but everybody please hit the like button. Ali was so witty and fast, it discouraged people very much. Very much. Pac versus Durant at 147. Who wins? What do you think, B? I think Durant. Which this goes back to Lawaba. It's so funny. Do you remember Lawaba's nickname? Do you remember Lawaba's nickname? Oh, I gotta let the light in too. Well, I'm giving it away. Lawaba's nickname. Who's the first one going to tell me? Manny said he based his fighting style on Tyson, Chavez, and Sugar Ray. Yeah, and he very much looked like Oscar De La Hoya to me. A young hands of stone. Hands of stone. Everybody, please hit the like button. Hit the like.
Hit the like. Your fingers over here be like, there's nothing to hit the like. You know what you like.
Hold on. Everybody, let's let the light in. Tell your mother, tell your father, tell your husband, tell your wife, tell your son, tell your daughter, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your nephew, tell your niece, tell your aunt, tell your uncle, tell your cousin, tell your play cousin, tell your grandmother, tell your grandfather, tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend, tell your boyfriend, tell your side piece. If they're right next to you, tell them. If they're away from you, text them. They're no longer anymore. Look at the sky and say, I love you. Hit the Tyson Bell. Oh, there go my followers now. A lot of you guys on Twitter starting to follow me on Twitter now. Did Pac-Man pass the torch? No. Not exactly. Not how he wanted to. Because I don't think Ugas going to carry it to be a great fighter. Not how he wanted to. Ugas was a replacement fighter. Manny was trying to pass. Manny was trying to fight Crawford or Errol Spence. He knew what was up. And Ugas was a replacement fighter. And I mean, if there was a disappointment anywhere, it'd probably be on Manny. Probably more disappointed than anybody else. And Ugas went on to beat him. It's kind of like, did Sugar Ray Leonard pass the torch to Hector Camacho? That's not bad. Did Sugar Ray Robinson pass the torch to Joey Archer? No. But before I go, I want to say this. Did you guys see my Rocky franchise? Beautiful, wasn't it? Hit the Tyson Bell. When I compared all the fighters from the Rocky franchise as if they were real, I'm getting a lot of comments. You guys like, yo, I want you to do something like that again. And I'm going to break down if Rocky Balboa fought Tommy from The Warrior in an MMA fight, in a cage fight. And you may be shocked on my breakdown, on my analysis. But if they fought in a cage fight, who will win? I'm going to do that maybe in a couple days. All right. I got to think of everything, though. It's crazy how you can be great. You can't be great anymore and be honored for your success. ShowBizz, you are appreciated for being you. Thank you. But what's in the black two sugars? Right now I got Dunkin' coffee in there. This AM, I seen it. Yeah. That Rocky breakdown was excellent. Thank you so much. And a lot of people did not appreciate where I put Ivan Drago my reasoning, I don't think a lot, I had to analyze it as if they were real and we were, experiencing their careers. And if Ivan Drago was somebody we were experiencing his career, I think I put him right. And Rocky Balboa is almost the best. But look at that breakdown. Look at that breakdown. It was I really did everything. I tried to think about everything with that breakdown. I missed a couple things though, but that's okay. That's just a personal thing I know I did. Let me see. Mason Dixon, I didn't go through Mason Dixon, Rocky 6. We just didn't know enough, right? We knew that he was reigning for a while and he was doing whatever, but it was during a weak division, a weak time for heavyweights, and then Rocky old as shit comes out of retirement. Like, I don't know. I did the classics, right? Though Rocky Balboa was a great movie. Rocky 6 was actually a great movie. I need to watch that because that was a great movie, man. But yeah, I didn't do him. I did Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed, Ivan Drago, Clubber Lang, and Tommy the Machine Gun. I did those 5 and I ranked them in pretty good detail too. Let me see. Shame, new Rocky game is trash. Brother, I know. It's not even an online thing. Super trash. Black Sun is the one that went. Black Sun went hard. Like, Black Sun was like, yo, let's see what this is on. Man, Black Sun, like, man, this. I was like, all right, just wait for ESPC. ShowBizz adult. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out. I will be extremely busy today. What I was thinking about doing was maybe doing a live stream commentary on Manny Pacquiao versus. Let me know who you want me to do. I was going to do the Cotto fight, but that's kind of short. Maybe Marquez Pacquiao 3 or something like that. But I was going to do it as if it was a live commentary. So just do it as if I'm calling the fight and only have the history of that fight back. Okay. And try to call it real time. Right here on my TV, the way I do my live stream commentary. So let me know if you guys think that's a good idea. I'm out. Yeah, Hatton. That'll be a 2-minute live stream. All right, there, people.